Viewer beware, you're in for spoilers if you continue this scare.
Alright guys, we're back at it again. It's your boy Bumps Tonight. We're here to talk about another Goosebumps review. Oh wow, what an interesting 5 episodes it's been. If you're watching this first, I'd recommend going back and watching my other 3 reviews. They don't really affect anything, but if you're trying to do this in chronological order, it'd make most sense to start with Say Cheese and Die. Anyway, if not, let's continue. So this episode was called Reader Beware, which, oh man, what a meta joke. This is the halfway point for the series, guys. At this point, everyone's kind of had an establishing backstory. Isaiah had the camera, Isabel had the mask, James had duplicates from the Cuckoo Clock of Doom, and Lucas had the worms and go eat worms. So 4 of the books out of 5. Now at this point in time, we see the stories kind of developing more, decide what they're going to do as a group and how to deal with things. They're worried that Harold's coming for them. They don't know why yet. This picks up with Lucas's mom Nora being put in a mental facility, who is now under the psychiatric care of Isabella's mom, the girl from Haunted Mask. They are essentially holding her because she told the truth to the cops about giant worms, Harold Biddle's ghost, and all that stuff. They said she sounded crazy, so they put her in the crazy home. Lucas is staying with Margot and her dad, which is weird because the dad and the mom were dating, and now in this episode we have like a romantic connection between Lucas and Margot, where it's just like, why? So we have this unofficial like friend group. These 5 outcasts who don't really fit together, more or less. Well, I guess they kind of fit together. Really, Isabel and Lucas are the only outcasts of the group, but whatever. Whatever. The premises of this one, just a lot of like plot exposition. The only really thing I remember from this, because I slammed all 5 in one day, that Harold's possessing Mr. Brett, mind you. Harold decides, hey, it's time they know the truth. And he brings the scrapbook from the very first episode, the one that like Harold read all the stuff down in. He brings it to Margot and gives it to her, and he's like, "Hey, by the way, I know your mom like grew up here, so maybe she might care because her picture's in this book." And what you come to find out in this episode per se is each of these kids, one of their parents lived in the town 30 years ago, so they were all teens there. Margot's dad wasn't, but her mom was. Isaiah's dad was. Lucas's mom was. Isabella's mom was, and James' mom was. So all their parents lived there when Harold had died. So I'm guessing they're all connected to it per se. Why else would he be haunting them? I kind of gave that away in the trailer. Anyway, the possessed Mr. Brett gives the book to Margot and tells her to check it out. From there, Margot touches it and she has this like vision, but her eyes turn completely black and she's like watching the past play out. Turns out Harold was in the same photo club because back in the 90s, you would take pictures and then you have to develop them. They had these things called black rooms. She sees a conversation between Harold and her mom about going to the black room. So while this is happening, we get a flashback to Nora, who's in the psychiatric ward, and she sees Harold's ghost, which is not helping her case in any way, shape, or form. And Margot's mom finally comes back to town. So we have this awkward whole like family dinner scene where she's like, "Oh, I'm moving back," and the dad's like, "Oh shit," and they kind of talk about their situationship because that's what it is. And Margot's mom wanted to leave. The dad made a lot of good points on why he wanted to stay, and they ended up kind of having a break, which a lot of shows seem to do this lately. We're on a break. And the break to him meant, we're done. The break to her meant, get your head out of your ass and follow me. Which, again, not needed drama, and I can see why people get bothered by that stuff. But anyway, we have Margot's mom go visit Nora in the psychiatric ward, and they talk a bit, and they come to the conclusion that Harold is looking for Slappy. They haven't said Slappy's name, but I'm looking for him, I'm looking for him. It's Slappy. So back to Margot in this book. Margot follows the book's like locations and keeps having visions and seeing like essentially Harold was an outsider and the mom's friend group wasn't really accepting of him, but she was trying to bring him in, I guess being nice. Then there's this weird scene in the auditorium where Harold's like, "Oh, I need your help, I'm in trouble," and the mom's like, "Yeah," and she bails. After that, Margot gets stuck in the vision. Like she can't come back. Her eyes are blacked out, she can't move. Her friends like see the book moves on its own and flips pages to the Biddle house. So they take her in the book there, figuring that's where they can go in and get her. Then they have this scene where essentially they arrive to the Biddle house. They see the scene from the very first episode play out from third person this time instead of first person. So they see a bunch of kids dressed in black pull a prank on Harold where they knock on his door and run around the house. Harold comes out freaked out. No one's there. He runs back inside. The kids rush in after him. He barricades himself in the basement. The kids start beating on the door, and then he falls down the stairs. Well, in this vision, Margot falls down the stairs in his place. Her friends come and get her out of the mansion before it burns, and they see his death in third person. Well, then they see their parents as teens arguing about they just killed him, and they're holding a case. What do you think's in the case? It's Slappy. So At this point in time, the parents all scatter. The kids are like, holy shit, our parents killed him. Kind of freaking out. Got a little bit of Nightmare on Elm Street remake vibes here. And then they kind of snap back to reality, and Mr. Brett walks out of the front door, and he's like, oh, I'll tell you all about it. Come on in. And it ends there. This episode is just kind of a setup to get to Night of the Living Dummy, which there's 2 Night of the Living Dummies, so I can't wait to see how this plays out. I'm interested to see where we're going to go from here. Next week, we're finally going to see Slappy. I think it was a cool way they did this release. They dropped 5 at once so you could binge it, and now you got to wait for the rest. Everyone else online doesn't seem to think so, but that's their problem. Overall, I enjoyed the episode. I didn't think it was the best episode, but I'd give it a 6.5. It wasn't bad. A lot of exposition, but I think overall, the plot's moving pretty well. Like I said, it is a slow burn, but it's entertaining. It's damn more entertaining than the original Goosebumps movie from Sony in 2015. Fight me on that one. Regardless, I liked it, and I'm looking forward to next week's episode. And if you're enjoying these, good for you, because guess what? And if you're enjoying these, I have some great news. There's going to be another episode next week when we review Night of the Living Dummy. I don't really have much more to say on it besides the fact that it was solid, and it's nice to finally see how the plots come together. There was one scathing line in it that hurt my heart, but that was just because it was like a meta joke on the people watching it. James is talking to Isaiah about him and his girlfriend breaking up, and he's like, this was inevitable. This is about as inevitable as a millennial hearing a word that they don't understand and then saying it, even though they only heard it once. And I was like, God. And they claimed they got the word from TikTok. So, yeah, that kind of hurt. It was funny, but damn, hurt me in my feels, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. We'll see you in the next one.